Start. Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to tonight's Cabinet on 15th of June 2026. I'm Simon Wellbands, leader of the council. Before we start, I think we'll just do a round of introductions. I'm sure we all know each other, starting right at the very end there, and then we'll come around. Thank you.
Claire Betts, Grants Officer. Becky Nixon, Community Engagement Manager.
Soretta Morris, Grants Officer.
Steve Taylor, Health and Wellbeing Manager.
Ella Newman, Democratic Services Manager and Deputy Monitoring Officer.
Liz Elliott, Deputy Chief Executive.
Leah Mickleborough, Head of Democratic Services, Elections and Monitoring Officer.
John Richardson, Chief Executive.
Clive Mason, Director of Resources in Section 151.
David Atkinson, Director of Planning.
Councillor King, Deputy Leader.
Councillor Rickman, Neville Ward, Councillor.
Councillor David Page, Logan Ward and Neighbourhood Services.
Councillor Zita Page, Ullathorpe Ward, Planning and Cultural Services.
Councillor Amanda Nunn, Bosworth Ward, Housing and Wellbeing.
Good evening, Councillor Dan, Corporate Portfolio, representing Primethorpe and Sutton in Broughton Astley.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Mark Graves from Broughton Astley, just here to present item 7, the recommendations from scrutiny committees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll go on to the first item. Apologies for absence. Don't think we have anyone because we're all here. Welcome to you, Councillor Rickman, on your first Cabinet meeting. We'll go on to declarations of members' interests. Do we have any? No. Excellent. Draft minutes of Cabinet of the 11th of May 2026. Have we had a chance to look at them? Are we all happy? Yes. I'm happy to propose a seconder.
Happy to second.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to sign here, John? Please. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, David?
I did actually raise with Democratic Services that actually on page 5, the proposal under Environmental Services, there was a proposal it says here it was proposed by Councillor Mrs Page and seconded by Councillor Nunn, and that was actually my recommendation, my proposal.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, hello.
It will be amended, but it is amended in the draft as uploaded to CNET.
Okay, all right.
Right. Okay, all right. Questions to Cabinet? We don't have any. I don't believe. Draft minutes of Cabinet. Hang on a minute. I've just gone over myself there, haven't I? Okay, item number 5, £1 million community grant applications year 2 on page 13. And I think if we come over to you, Steve, or sorry, Becky, to present the report. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is to report what's now 15 applications for the community grant year 2. This is round 3. So just to brief summary, it's a £1 million capital grant scheme for towns and parish councils. This is the second year. This is the 3rd round, and we have one more round in year 2 after this. In the original paper, I think there were 16 applications. One has been withdrawn, which is the PCC of the Ecclesiastical Parish of Market Harborough. So that leaves 15 applications to be considered, and that's now a total of £82,000 to £82,293.54. So I don't know what level of detail you want, whether you want a summary of the applicants to read through, or whether you're just happy to take the report as
I think we can take the report as it is. We've been through this before, previously as Cabinet, in pre-Cabinet, but I will go over to colleagues to see if they have any questions, comments, etc. No? Councillor King?
Chair, thanks very much. Becky, did you say one had been withdrawn? I didn't quite catch what you said, sorry.
Yeah, so the PCC of the Ecclesiastical Parish of Market Harborough, so that's St Dionysius Church.
That the 46296?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, David.
Thank you for that. I was actually at the committee meeting for that, so that's actually good to hear. The only other thing that I did recommend at that meeting actually was the increase in grant to Harbour Athletics Club to £5,000. I think that was dependent on potentially Section 106 money, but also them coming back again. But if there was any way we could actually make that happen, because athletics is now, it would be great if we could actually see that through.
Yeah. Do you want to go back, Becky?
This is the first I've heard of it, actually. I'm only back from leave today.
Yeah, I remember.
Chair, I think it was more to do with the fact that we were limited for funds at the time. We thought the ecclesiastical bid was potentially going to take up all remaining funds. That didn't happen. The idea, though, was that if we could get additional funding for what was an abstemious submission, considering the growth in athletics in Market Harborough, we wanted to see that go through now, rather than Section 106 money, if that wasn't possible.
Take it away.
I think we'd probably, I'm just looking for guidance in terms of process. I mean, it's something we can take away. Obviously, we'd need something in around, what they were going to spend it on and things like that. So I don't know whether we can make that a special condition that if Harbour Athletics are able to provide us with that information in the same way as we would have required if they'd applied for that full amount in the first place, then it maybe can be signed off by the leader.
I think that's what we agreed, actually. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
So effectively, what we agreed with Katie at the time, I think during the meeting, was that if they were to resubmit now in the way that they would normally, that could actually effectively be approved and fast forwarded.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's what we just said just here as well. So I think we can probably take this on blocks. I think from what we've said before, we're all pretty happy with the applications as they stand, all of them. So I think we can just do. Yes, without the one that's just gone away. Exactly. Yeah. So I think we can just do one proposer and seconder on block. Can we? Yeah. David proposes, Michael seconds. Thank you very much. And then we'll obviously go and have a word with the athletics people and hopefully they can come back for a bit more money. But thank you for that. So item number 6 is Section 106 grants application on page 43. Is that you, Steve?
Thank you, Chair. Yep. So this is the report for the Section 106 grants application. This time round, we have one application, which is for East Mercia Rivers Trust, which is the Welland River project, and we're asking for Cabinet to we're recommending they either approve in full, part or no funding, and also to delegate that authority to the Director of Communities and Wellbeing in consultation with legal services to enter into any necessary legal agreements and facilitate and document the legal obligations between the Council and grant recipients. Just in terms of the report itself, point number 4 about implications of decision, in particular financials. You'll note from that part of the report that if accepted in full, this will fully utilise the source of available Section 106 funding, which is coming from Naseby Square. The contribution is green space. And you'll also note that the spending criteria is quite niche in terms of it being for the provision of off-site habitats in Market Harborough, River Jordan, and Welland, and the habitat improvement by Welland Rivers Trust. So it's really, really kind of closed down where we can actually spend that money. Would you like me to go into a little detail about the project, Chair?
I don't think we do. I think we were pretty au fait with it. Thank you very much, Steve. Unless colleagues want to, no. Okay, thanks, Steve. Any questions, comments from colleagues at all? We all happy? Yeah, getting nods. Yeah, proposer. Rosie, seconder David. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Item number 7, recommendations from the services and communities and corporate and performance overview and scrutiny panels. That's on page 49. Over to you, Councillor Graves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader. Thank you for your invite to this committee. As members will know, I chair the Services and Communities Overview and Scrutiny Panel, and this is a presentation of the recommendations from that panel and the Corporate and Performance Overview and Scrutiny Panel. The report is to present the recommendations from both the panels for their meetings between December 2025 and last month, May. There are no recommendations to Cabinet that haven't already been dealt with at previous meetings, so it is just requested that Cabinet review and note the work that scrutiny has done during this time. The Services and Communities Scrutiny Panel reviewed the Open Spaces Strategy Review, which resulted in recommendations presented to Cabinet on the 11th of May. Delivery, Provision and Management of Affordable Housing Review, which resulted in recommendations to officers and a suggestion that the topic review be continued in 26-27, and the operation of the Civil Enforcement Service and partnerships, which resulted in a letter being written to Leicestershire County Council. The Corporate and Performance Scrutiny Panel reviewed the Special Expenses Review, treatment of reserve balances and charging for ground maintenance. Recommendations were considered and adopted at Cabinet 19th of January and incorporated as part of the 26-27 draft budget. The CCTV update, which resulted in recommendations to officers and to the Joint Overview and Scrutiny Panel to inform 26-27 Scrutiny Work Plan, and the Financial Outturn and Corporate Performance Quarter 3, year ending 31st March 26, resulting in recommendations which were considered by Cabinet on 23rd of March. And it's intended that both scrutiny chairs will hopefully attend 5 meetings of Cabinet through 26-27 to present Cabinet with their panel's recommendations, and the report is as is. I'm happy to take any further questions, Leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Graves. Any questions from Cabinet? Councillor Rosie Page.
Thank you, Councillor Graves. Thank you for attending and thank you for presenting the report. 2 quick questions. One is, we used to have an annual scrutiny report. Are we going to, reintroduce that or do one again? I think we are. Because it's always great for the public to know that we are actually, having an effective scrutiny mechanism. And secondly, I was wondering how we can encourage all the members to put forward more items, because the last time I looked, I found it, even for me, quite difficult to put forward a recommendation. And I was wondering if the scrutiny chairs can look forward to getting a more involvement from members across all parties to bring things forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie.
Yes, thank you very much. 2 excellent questions. Starting with the second one, we did have a very productive, wide-ranging discussion at the most recent joint scrutiny session. The topics were sourced from quite a wide number of areas, including previous scrutiny recommendations. A number of members took time to submit their requests. I think we had 1 or 2 from officers as well. I know that a number of emails went out. I am obviously quite new to the post, so I can't comment an awful lot on what's happened before, but certainly I aim to speak to Councillor Bateman soon, and I personally will always be open to any recommendations from members. Certainly if there are major pieces of work or reports going through council, they would be good candidates to be examined for scrutiny. So hopefully, Councillor Page, that's quite a forthright response to that question, or wide-ranging anyway. And firstly, I note your point about the annual scrutiny report. I'm just looking at who I think the author of that report is. That was presented quite recently. It was quite a good report, lots of wide-ranging topics and pictures, and that was that presented to full council? Yes, it was. So yes, I'd be keen to see that happen again. I think it was well received and covered a lot of topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from Cabinet at all? Questions? No? In that case, thank you very much, Councillor Graves, for joining us. And thank you for presenting. Next item on the agenda is the open spaces policy, and
I think you need to.
do we have to, just for noting, isn't it? Thank you. Open space policy and guidance on page 59. Rosie, this is a report in your name. If you've got anything to say.
Yes, this is under my portfolio, and we have had this report and discussed it in details. We have secured many positive changes, and the reason is set out in the summary, and the recommendation is for us to approve the report. So I recommend this for approval with the reasons as set out on page 60 of 108. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Obviously, the Matt Bills isn't here, but David, is there anything you wanted to add at all?
No, not at all, Chairman. No, I think the report speaks for itself. And Councillor Page has covered it. Thank you.
Okay, over to colleagues. Any questions, comments from colleagues? No, so it's been proposed by Councillor Rosita Page. I'm happy to second. We go to the vote. Unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item is street cleansing. Cabinet request to council to agree an increase in resourcing to meet the administration's priorities on page 97. That is in your report, isn't it, David? Sorry.
It's
Bill.
Would you like me to?
Yes, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Leader. Okay, so the recommendations are to request council to approve additional resources to meet our priorities in respect of street cleansing. The first one is an additional revenue allocation of 10,000 a year to meet the costs of a driver, and the second one is an increase in the capital programme, 135,000 to finance the purchase of a large road sweeper. The reason we're having to bring these amendments forward is that when we proposed our amendments as to their opposition in February, wasn't quite sufficient money that we put forward to enable us to get a second road sweeper. And if you look at the details, we currently have one fairly new mechanical sweeper that goes round on a 12-week cycle, and the idea of this is because we want to have cleaner streets, is we need a second sweeper and a driver to enable us to meet our objectives, and that's what we need to do. So unfortunately we do need to request from council slightly increased funding to enable us to buy said vehicle and hire or pay for a driver, an additional driver to actually do that. That's it basically, Chair. And happy to propose those recommendations.
Thank you, Phil. I'm just going to come into Councillor Knowles. I think you wanted to speak on this item, didn't you? Did you want to come on to the microphone?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, thank you for allowing me to speak. I do appreciate it. I wanted just to pick up on, and it's basically on the point that Councillor King's just made, really. We're talking here about 3 sweepers, not 2, because we did add in an additional one into the budget figures that were presented to council. I think the officers can confirm that. So it was not we were going to have 1 sweeper, we were going to have 2. That figure was in the budget. There was an increase already included. Now what you're asking in here is for 3.
Right.
In the capital programme, there was only 1 sweep, but I don't know if there's any more through the contract or anything.
I think that needs checking, Chairman, because I specifically remember we were talking about already investing in increasing it to by another sweeper. This now increases it to 3, which I can fully understand. But obviously, the main point I wanted to make tonight was obviously when this was brought through as amendments to the budget, very clearly the budgetary provision wasn't made and it wasn't clear. So it was underfunded on the night. It was underslung on the night and presented as being achievable. And then suddenly now we're in a position where more money's being asked for. I can appreciate why, and I don't disagree with it one iota. But I do think, Chairman, that obviously I'm pleased to see this, and I'm equally very pleased to see this actually in public session.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Knowles. We have one small sweeper for the town centre. We have a large mechanical sweeper purchased by the council already, and this is for another large sweeper.
It takes it up to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I would say I'm very pleased to see this additional funding included, Chairman. I was equally on the open spaces. I'd hoped to say a few words on that as well, which obviously went through very quickly. Much to the pleasure of everybody. No, don't worry. Yeah, I think the thing is obviously on these things, it's important that we invest in the communities. I'm very pleased to see that retrospectively we're getting this picked up and it is actually now being done, which is good news. You know, I think it's important. And, you know, I'm glad to see it's in the public session. I wish the item you got marked down section 100A on the company was going to be in public session, because I think people would be quite interested in that as well. And I think it'd be very useful to have that in public session. I hope the Cabinet decide to vote against it going into private. I know the officers will give you 101 reasons why we should, but I think there's 101 reasons why we shouldn't. So my point, Chairman, is to make that I'm very pleased to see that we're actually investing in this. We're putting money back where it's needed, and I'm very happy with that.
Thank you, Phil. Rosie?
Thank you. I'm very happy to second the recommendation as set out on page 98. I have been a long time trying to get this sweeper, and I am extremely pleased that it will enhance the fleet as set out in 3.3. I think this will enable us to provide services equally all across the district. This is a bread and butter service, as we call it. Residents like to see clean streets, enforcement, and whatever else. So I'm only too delighted, and I'm looking forward to having an updated road sweeping schedule that will be communicated out to the districts on our website, so if and when all our residents can enjoy the benefit of this new additional service. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Paul?
Yeah, thank you. So there's no difference of opinion here. I thought that we were going to invest in a second large sweeper.
It's a second large sweeper, yeah.
Second large one. Thank you.
Phil?
Yeah, thanks, Leader. Yeah, okay. Well, I've heard what Councillor Knowles said, but they didn't put it in their budget, so we have to bring it forward because they didn't put in the money for a second large road sweeper, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, so we're now correcting that, and we are getting the right amount of money in. Unfortunately, we didn't have the right figures back in February. That's just how it, you know, these things happen sometimes. We've got the right numbers now. We know we can get this done, and it's going to make a big difference, as Councillor Mrs. Page has just said, to residents. The one thing that I know a lot of residents also have a big bugbear about is pavement sweeping, particularly during the autumn after the leaf falls. But I know this won't address that, but that is another thing which I know does cause a lot of concerns for residents, particularly when it's very wet, because the leaf mulch becomes very slippy and people are more at risk, given we've got an ageing population across our district. People are much more at risk of falling over on the pavement because of the slippy pavement conditions. So that's another thing which hopefully that will be addressed later. But this is, I think, all good and very positive, and pleased that everyone's willing to support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else at all wants to come in on this? Yep. So I think it's a very good report. Very happy to see this come through. I know it's something that Rosie has been pushing for a very long time. So thank you to you as well, Rosie. Okay, it's been proposed and seconded. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Now, it's a slight change in the order. We are going to bring back information exchange to a future Cabinet meeting, but only as a quick, short thing to exchange short bits of information, as we did when we were previously in administration. But we didn't have time before the papers were published to do it for this agenda. So I'm going to propose that we do it in AOB, which I'm bringing forward, because otherwise we'd have to go into exempt session to come back out of exempt session just to do AOB. So we're going to go to AOB now, but with a view, if any members of the cabinet wanted to exchange quick bits of information, now is the time to do it. So have any members of the cabinet got anything to share? Councillor Nunn.
Yeah, I wasn't going to share anything because actually I haven't received any advance notice about this, so I haven't prepared anything. So maybe.
You don't have to.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Rosie.
Yes, I will put a couple of words together with David Atkinson to amend it or to attach it rather than holding it up and me wrecking my brain now. So if we can do that, a couple of words, and then can we attach them later?
Sure, we can do.
To the minutes or to the agenda?
To the agenda instead of, you know, because we are doing some training, we're doing some briefings. So if we do it
So
as
you're saying if you have some stuff you want to add later, it could be
added,
to the minutes.
yes, please.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to do that? Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Question. Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else at all? Anything to share?
Can I just ask, Chair, what kind of information we want to share? There are a couple of things that I could raise. I just want to check that they're actually in scope of this. Anything to do with okay. So today we had conversations about the events that took place last night with the tagging that occurred in Market Harborough Town Centre, 3 cars and other buildings. I did actually ask for the team to actually go out and inspect and see what level of damage has been done. It so happens that one of the mothers of one of the perpetrators actually came on social media today and apologized, and actually has her son, one of them, out there scrubbing away some of the damage. I don't know what level or extent of damage was done, but I have commented on to Harbour FM when they contacted me directly to say that actually we will pursue this quite hard. We will not accept tagging. It's a zero tolerance. It's a crime of vandalism. The other thing I was going to say was that today the partnership between Hinckley, Blaby and Harborough in terms of fly tipping the campaign against that has been launched because we're in Purda. Effectively, we couldn't actually be part of that statement, but I just want to say that we are behind it, and it's part of our zero tolerance policy, which I'm really, really keen to get behind. There'll be more to say on that later.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that. Anybody else at all? No? Okay, well, we'll go to the next item of the agenda, item number 10. And then I presumably have to read this out, do I? Yes. Yes, of course, understood. Thank you, Liz. So, section 100A for the Local Government Act 1972. The following item is suggested to be dealt with under the above legislation. To comply with the Act, the following resolution needs to be passed. The report is exempt not for the publication by virtue of paragraph 3 of part 1 of schedule 12A of the Local Government Act of 1972. Having regard to all the circumstances, the public interest in maintaining the exception outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information because releasing it would impact upon third-party commercial interests. And the item is exempt. Harborough District Commercial Services Limited update and future considerations. Happy to propose that. Any seconder, Councillor King, thank you.
Happy to say.
Thank you very much. We'll just